Good evening to you and a warm welcome to Prime Business with me, Pius Kojobaka. Now, in the last couple of minutes, President John Mahama has appointed Dr. Alhassan Idrisu as the acting government statistician pending further consultations with the Council of State. He replaces Professor Samuel Kobnenim, who has served as the statistician for the past 8 years. The announcement was made in an official statement released by the President. And I would like to share with you excerpts of that statement. It reads, President Mahama appoints Dr. Alhassan Idrisu as acting government statistician. It goes on to say, President Mahama has appointed Dr. Alhassan Idrisu as acting government statistician pending consultations with the Council of State. Dr. Alhassan Idrisu is a second economist, a seasoned economist, I should say, an accomplished public sector leader with a distinguished career in Ghana's Ministry of Finance. He currently serves as Director, Economic Strategy and Research Division, where he leads national efforts in macroeconomic analysis, forecasting, policy research, and coordination of real and external sector assessments. He provides technical guidance for the preparation of the Ghana Macroeconomic Outlook Report and contributes to the national budget and economic policy. He goes on to say Dr. Idrisu also represents the ministry on several governing boards, public councils, and inter-ministerial technical committees, where his expertise influences key policy decisions on economic governance and development strategy. He has held multiple senior positions at the director level, including as Director, Economic Research and Forecasting Division from 2013 to 2019, where he supervised national macroeconomic modeling and long-term forecasting, and as Acting Director, Real Sector Division between 2010 and 2013, where he led research and analysis on sectoral growth and productivity trends. He concludes by saying, a part-time lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, and also he's a former consultant to Oxfam GB and the World Bank. Dr. Idrisu holds PhD in International Development Studies from the National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies, Tokyo, Japan, as a Master of Public Administration and from the London School of Economics and MPhil in Economics, and a BA in Economics with French from the University of Ghana. And of course, this is signed by the spokesperson to the President and also the Minister of Communications, Felix Kwachi Ofosu. I want to stay a while longer on appointment because John Mahama again has appointed Stephen Wilfred Atta as the Acting Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. He takes over from Engineer Charles Kurenkwe, whose appointment was terminated on April 2. This transition marks the culmination of Mr. Kurenkwe's exemplary 4-year leadership, during which he made substantial progress in enhancing Ghana's aviation landscape. During his tenure, which began in June 2020, he spearheaded several transformative initiatives that have left an indelible mark on the GCAA and the country's aviation sector. Now, one of his most notable achievements was overseeing the construction and operationalization of a new GCAA head office and a state-of-the-art facility designed to enhance an efficiency and, of course, effectiveness of Ghana's aviation regulatory body. In addition to infrastructure development, he played a pivotal role in facilitating the establishment of more airlines in Ghana. And we also know that Carl Bank has announced the appointment of Dan Saki, former managing director of EcoBank Ghana, as its new board chairman. The announcement was made through a circular to investors via the Ghana Stock Exchange in Accra today. The appointment, which took effect on March 20, follows approval from the board of the bank as well as the Bank of Ghana. Mr. Saki succeeds Joe Mensah, who served as board chairman since 2019. In addition, Carl Bank has restructured its board as part of a strategic move to enhance its operations. Away from appointments, economist Professor Patrick Esuming is upbeat. The team from the International Monetary Fund expected in town on Monday will help government restructure the tax exemptions bill and streamline the entire VAT system. This, he believes, when looked into, will address the challenges associated with revenue generation. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Esuming maintained an efficient VAT system will enhance revenue mobilization.
I think a big part will be the VAT exemptions. The exemptions conversation is something that has been very problematic. And it featured even in the IMF program number 16. Even though we've passed an exemptions bill, we see how even in the last administration, towards the end, granting exemptions to some companies became a point of standoff. So that is part. And then the other thing that at least the business committee complained about, there were too many structures and too many systems, businesses of the same structure having to follow different VAT arrangement. I think all of that brings inefficiency. So streamlining it and making sure that it is relatively flat, and also we get rid of a lot of the exemptions that minimize our ability to realize a lot of revenue from our VAT system. I think that would be two key components of that discussion. Don't forget that the IMF team has done a tax reassessment before. And they have a fair idea. They did a tax diagnostic tool for Ghana. And they have a fair idea where the revenue potentials lie. I just think that given how this government has started, and that it won't be something that is just the IMF telling us, let's make these changes and then you go ahead and do it. I think it's important that the discussions that we had with the private sector and then also academia during the national economic dialogue becomes important, or at least the consultation process is different from what we have seen before, where we won't see anything until it is passed. We don't know what has been discussed with the fund, and suddenly it's passed. And, there was something like that also going on with the BOG Act that they are trying to review. I don't think that's how we want to be dealing with it. If you want to do proper consultation, of course, the IMF might give you technical advice, but you should understand that there are also a lot of experts who are in this country. And then also there are people who understand our tax system in a way that probably the IMF team might not understand. They might have their own perspective. So I hope that, whatever is agreed, there's a broad-based discussion before finally something makes its way to Parliament to be passed.
Away from tariff matters, the IMF is warning that the tariffs announced by the U.S. government poses a significant risk to global economic outlook. The IMF, in a statement, added that it is important to avoid steps that could rather or further harm the economy. It also appealed to the U.S. and its trading partners to work with its trading partners to resolve these trade tensions. Meanwhile, IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva has been speaking in an interview with Reuters.
When we look at the trade picture, we need to recognize two things. One, that the introduction of trade measures does create some uncertainty, especially rapid introduction. And uncertainty leads to impact on consumer confidence, on investor confidence. It also takes the disinflationary process to move slower or stall. We also recognize that the reaction to this sense we need more national security is underpinned by many, many, many people across the globe feeling that trade as we know it from the decades when it was flourishing, yes, it made all countries better off, but it did not make all people better off. And that, of course, gave that push to let's protect our own jobs, let's protect our own economies. We're seeing, however, that despite all this, the economies have proven to be resilient. Trade has proven to be resilient. Yes, today GDP growth is faster than growth in trade, but not by much. In other words, trade continues to grow. Trade in services grows much faster than trade in goods. And a very important observation, countries that have similar interests to be more integrated, especially small, medium-sized, open economies, they seek more collaboration. So trade is also rewired and will continue to be rewired. So that is the context within which indeed there is a lot of anxiety around developments. But I would say there is also a silver lining in this process because it is forcing countries to take much more seriously how to build resilience on their own, based on their own policies.
Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Simon Maggi, has expressed optimism government's 24-hour economy has the potential to attract more foreign investment and create jobs. Speaking on the sidelines of the inauguration of the Teleperformance Ghana's third operational site in Accra, Mr. Maggi noted that it has the potential to help investors recoup their investment quickly. Here's a report.
Performance Ghana has integrated its third operational site in Accra to enhance customer experience solutions for some of the world's most respected digital native and industrial leading brands. Speaking at the event, the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Simon Maggi, reaffirmed the government's commitment to creating an enabling environment to attract foreign investment and foster business growth.
It's important for us to look at everything within the broader context of what's happening around the world. So we must open up our own country for investment, and that's what we're doing. We must encourage those who are already investing here to reinvest a lot more, like what we've just witnessed. TP has been here for 3 years. Now they want to move their staff to 2,000 and to 5,000 and almost to 10,000 and beyond. So government is ready to give them the support which is required. My colleague have said we do have the trained labor, which is around to work, highly skilled labor, the conditions the government is willing to work upon, the investment environment, and to open up the space for them.
CEO of TP Global, Thomas Mackenbrock, expressed confidence in the company's long-term commitment to job creation in Ghana.
In our business are the people. And we are really blessed to have these wonderful colleagues we have found here in Ghana. It's a pleasure to work with them in the future. For me, for Augustine, for parts of the TP family, it's the first time in Ghana. And we are really looking forward to a promising future in the next years, where we want to build new great jobs in Ghana and help to build supporting the country.
Yifak Gunu is the CEO of the Ghana Digital Center.
Our core mandate is to create a platform or an enabling environment for the digital space in terms of BPO operations. Our mandate is to set up the centers that can accommodate institutions and organizations like this to do more of the BPO services. And for that matter, we are excited about some of these interventions and prospects.
Human Resource Director of TP Ghana, Elma Marcella Ison, emphasized the company's dedication to staff development.
As part of our office design, we make sure that we create an experience for them. So we have our wellness center, we have our recreational areas where people can just go and relax, wind down when they are tired. And we're also very big on people development because we strive to grow with the people within the organization. Most of our promotions are done internally, and so we understand that we have to groom people to take up these roles.
As part of its expansion strategy, Teleperformance Ghana aims to employ approximately 10,000 Ghanaians across its operational sites in the country.
In some other business news, Kasona Global Imaging is advancing medical imaging education in Ghana by offering hands-on training to university students. According to the sales lead at Kasona Global Imaging, Gladys Tete, this initiative will provide students with exposure to cutting-edge ultrasound, X-ray, CT scan, and MRI technologies, ultimately improving healthcare delivery across the country.
Students of Accra Technical University were selected by Kasona Global Imaging to benefit from practical training in diagnostic imaging. Sales lead at Kasona Global Imaging, Gladys Tete, explained that the training exercise will bridge the gap between theoretical learning and real-world skills by exposing students to state-of-the-art medical imaging equipment.
So we came up with this idea to help these students get in-depth, knowledge on the use of ultrasound machines. There are certain important applications on these equipment that most people who go through these education are not exposed to. So they end up going into the job market and still not having the right experience in using the equipment. So having this idea is to expose them to all the new technologies on these ultrasound machines.
Clinical specialist at Mindray Middle East and Africa, Mary Owende, stressed the critical role of advanced imaging technologies in advancing diagnostic accuracy. She noted that incorporating these features into medical training would significantly elevate the quality of healthcare delivery.
Our presentation this afternoon included the advanced technology that we use on our ultrasound, which supports the confidence of ultrasound users, including radiologists, sonographers, obstetricians, gynecologists, cardiologists, and all other ultrasound users to efficiently and to confidently make their diagnosis. I also talked about other liver assessments, which is not just elastography stiffness of the liver, but also currently we have technology that is able to quantify the fat that we have in the liver. It will tell us whether we have very high fatty liver or it is just starting to be fat.
Head of the Department of Medical Laboratory Technology at Accra Technical University, Dr. Henry Hackman, emphasized that the training will equip students and medical professionals with essential practical skills needed to operate and maintain sophisticated imaging devices.
We observe that they do deal in equipment, they do deal in diagnostic imaging equipment. And so we saw that we could have a good collaboration and partnership with them so that we can train our students on this current and modern imaging equipment. As an institution, we prioritized hands-on training, and also we make our students go on what we call intra and inter-clinical attachment.
Kasona Global Imaging's training exercise for students represents a major step towards aligning academic training with the real-world demands of the healthcare sector. By offering hands-on experience with advanced imaging technologies, Kasona Global Imaging is helping to prepare the next generation of medical professionals for the evolving healthcare landscape. Rosla Calistego report, read to you.
Ghana is making strides in the vegetable export sector, capturing niche markets in the EU and UK. However, players in the industry believe there remains huge potential to increase their contribution towards revenue generation. My colleague Jesse Enyamagbapo has been speaking to the president of the Vegetable Producers and Exporters Association, Dr. Phyllis Kasama.
Horticulture sector, we are the major victim if you talk about post-harvest losses. During the rainy season, everybody is growing. And they will grow if we don't consume all. What we have to do, we have to add value. But it comes with a cost and equipment.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. Tomatoes, we can dry tomatoes to tomatoes powder or do a freeze dryer when we're out of season. Then we can bring it to the market. Chili, it cut across. But those things are not happening at the sector. So, what can we do? It's a chain to have those storage, simple equipment where clusters of farmers can use during the storage or dry season or major season. So post-harvest issue, it cut across at the horticulture industry where vegetable sector will face those challenges because we know that some of the produce have a short shelf life. Within a few time, then you lose the perishability of the product. So why not? These are the challenges we are facing for some time now. Yeah. Even the export sector, the airport, we are sending this to Ministry of Transport. They should look at the airport very well because during the rainy season, sometimes people have to rush in to their goods, or when you miss your flight, where you can store your products for some time. Because of that, we are here, have those cold room here. So it's not out of place for VPEC to be closer to the airport. So when you get to the airport, sometimes you miss a flight. The storage, how you are going to store the product is also a challenge. So post-harvest loss is something we are looking, because if you didn't keep your product very well, you get to the market, the shelf life will look bad, and then your buyer is going to cut down some of your payment and all those things. So we are part of the victim, but we are hoping that this resetting agriculture sector, it will fall in line with the vision some of us we have so that they can able to achieve it, because it's not going to be out of place. We are going to use the place, so they have to listen to us and see the areas where need immediately attention, so that we can able to roll out together.
And you can watch the full episode tomorrow on the Joy News channel at 6 p.m. with my colleague Jesse Eriamagwapo. Now, the Amefiman Rural Bank has set aside 35 million cedis to be disbursed to about 318 traders affected by the blue light market fire in the Dum Kumasi. Interest on the loans is being reduced between 4% and 6% based on cases presented. In supporting affected clients with existing loan facilities, the bank is offering a renegotiation of the loans. Anaya Ojima has more.
According to the National Disaster Management Organization, about 2,900 traders were affected by the Adum fire. Among the affected persons is Obed Ousu, who runs XG Collection, a boutique at the Blue Light Enclave. The shop was opened a year ago with a loan which is yet to be fully settled. I got a loan of 500,000 cedis for my shop. I had just 2 tranches to complete the repayment when the fire happened. Traders in the area are awaiting authorization to commence rebuilding, but Obed, like others, is making plans to restart the business. The offer by Amefiman Rural Bank, including a cut in interest rate, will present opportunities for the traders who are interested in rebuilding. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Alexander Asma speaks of measures to mitigate risk being incurred by the bank.
So the bank is discounting the upfront charges by 50% so that they wouldn't have to have so much deductions before they have the loans. And we also have a loan package which most of the people here have actually subscribed to. The loan package that we call collateral-free loan. That is what we are promoting by the Donkomi promo. And so most of them have taken loans without collaterals, and they need to place a lien, a cash lien of about 20%. That one, to the board has decided to also give concession on that, because most of the people have actually lost their entire capital and they wouldn't have any money to place upfront.
As part of concessions for the traders to benefit from the loans, repayment of the facility will commence in 3 months. Though the offer is opened to all affected traders, existing customers will be prioritized.
So we came not only to provide immediate help in the form of support, business support to these customers, but we also came to provide corporate social responsibility support to the entire affected victims. So we gave an amount of 200,000 Ghana cedis as a corporate social responsibility support, as a donation to help the reorganization and rebuilding of the place.
For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
And I'm Pius Kojo Baka with Prime Business. Razak Musbao is next with Prime Sports.